What's going on out there? It is episode three. No, not episode three. It's season three, episode 13 of the podcast, The Rewind, the CUT Collective's amazing podcast. We come here each and every week, mostly each and every week, to rewind on the lesson sermon from the prior Sunday. We're rewinding on the lesson sermon from June 7th, June 6th, 2026. I'm really excited about this because we have Reverend Dr. Derrick B. Wells back in the hot seat. It's been a minute. I know y'all missed us. I missed them. How about that? I just miss talking to my friend. And so what we're going to do today is rewind on the lesson, the compound effect of faith. And I can't wait to dive in here because I'm in that mindset of expanding my success, right? Because we're talking about the spiritual science of success. And so this series has been so powerful because it's time for each and every one of us to hop up off of the train where we're just staying the same and get on the moving train where we are able to grow into our greatness. And so each and every week we rewind on the lesson sermon. And so what I want you to do, we're live right now here, but push this out, share this with your friends, subscribe wherever you're listening. And you guys know this, subscribe, share, you guys know that thing. This is not a novel thing, but I'm really excited to give us that opportunity to help spread this because listen, the thing that happens is that we grow in community, we grow together. And so some of us are out here struggling and to make it, struggling to get things going, struggling to pep up. And maybe what you need is a success team. You need some people that are talking about the same thing, that are rocking with the same idea of greatness. That's what we do here at the Collective, the online community for Christ Universal Temple, based out of Chicago, Illinois, but we are worldwide here as part of the Collective. And so find your tribe, just share. You never know who you connect with that is going to be the one that helps you ignite yourself into that next level. So I want to encourage you to do that. So let's start building more community because we grow together. All right. So without further ado, I'm bringing up the Reverend Dr. Derrick B. Wells, who is the Senior Minister of Christ Universal Temple. Just in case you're tuning in for the first time, what's up, Rev?
What's going on, Rev Ree? How are you? I missed you so much. Missed the collective so much. Excited to be plugged back in.
Excited to have you. How was your vacation?
It was good. It was good. It's important to take those breaks where you need them. Mm-hmm. And I'm really just a lot more conscious of it on the backside of two transitions of some close friends in my age, maybe a little bit younger, who just recently made the transitions too soon. Stacey King, Chicago Bulls sports announcer, it's just too soon. So whatever it is that any of us can do to prioritize the facilitation of our complete and total health, we ought to do that. And sometimes that means coming apart so that you can refresh and renew and restore, give your mind, give your emotions, give your body an opportunity to recalibrate itself for the work that's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like in order to make the most of your success, you're gonna need your health to support that. So it was good. It was good, and honey had a good time. So if she's happy, we're happy, and it's all good. And
that's right.
I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, we got. But I think it's a powerful example of demonstrating health because as leaders, often there's so much to do. There's always more to do, and so leading by example to say that part of the success, right? Part of being successful, part of leading responsibly is to take breaks and to reassure people that, the message is bigger than the messenger. And Absolutely. So, I'm glad that you're able to show that example because it took a minute for me to catch it. I'm still catching it, that you got to step apart and cherish, because the mission we're on is important. The mission that you're on, we're all on this important mission.
That's right.
But that doesn't mean that you have to, exhaust yourself desperately trying to fulfill it. So that's why I appreciate this series to help us really understand success.
Yeah. So there's always the next thing, right? There's always the next thing that needs to be addressed, that needs to be done, that needs our attention. That will always exist, regardless of which areas or directions we're pointing our lives in. But
Mhm.
I'll never forget what my primary care physician said to me during one of my annual physicals. He said, if you know, I know you're committed to taking care of your people. He said, but if you're not well enough to take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of them anyway. And that was a pivot point for me. You know, like
Yeah.
I got a lot more intentional about being consistent with my health routine and my workout routines and things like that. You know, it does not always present itself at the most extreme levels. So, to the extent that we're able to inch by inch, workout by workout, meditation by meditation, um, respite by respite, come apart to give ourselves the opportunity to be the best version of ourselves so that that greatness
Yes.
can shine forth. It's absolutely important.
Yes, 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 absolutely. So I gave the lesson sermon a couple weeks ago, and I told
I got
people
good.
that we were wrapping
I
up.
got I got good reviews on it too. I just
Oh,
I had
good, 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 good.
I had somebody hit me uh 2 3 days ago, and they just from their notes they started running down things that they got that Rare Bree said, and that
I love
they're
it.
like, oh, like this hit me like this, and this helped me see that. So I got some really good reviews on that.
I love it. Listen, all the people I pay, they come through. No, but you know, like y'all keep giving the feedback so I can keep coming back.
Mhm.
No, but this series has been really important. It's been important to me, and I want us to dive in. We're going to. I pulled a few clips. You guys know, for the rewind, you guys are always welcome in the Collectives Facebook group to add questions, so that we can pull out clips. Maybe you want to know more about it. You know, this is our chance to kind of really dive into the lesson, have a conversation around the topic. So let's pray in, Reb, and then I'm gonna dive in. I got about four or five clips.
All
We'll
right.
see what we get to.
Sounds good. As we just take a moment to center ourselves, we give thanks for the presence and power of God that is nurturing and restoring us right here and right now. We give thanks for this divine plug in where each of us has the opportunity to be renewed in our minds and our hearts as we get the insights that are specifically detailed to help us move our experience to the next level. We bless and give thanks for our facilitator. We give thanks for all who plug in. We're blessing Pam right where she is in Nevada. And for those who plug in later, for those who listen to this at a later time, know that everything is in divine order. And as you continue to stretch yourself, you will ultimately reach that divine destiny, that desired goal, as you continue to put yourself up to what it is you said yes to. So we say thank you for this time. We are open and receptive. We're excited about this opportunity to tabernacle one divine expression with the next. Amen and amen.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this lesson is the compound effect of faith. Now, I don't know if I'll talk a little bit about what compound interest is, because I know that that's what we're working with. Is and as a person who's not 20 anymore, I just got out of my 20s. That compound interest is one of those things that you wish you knew as far back as you could know it, and then it's like,
Uh-huh,
okay, you got to do what
uh-huh,
you can do.
uh-huh,
But
uh-huh.
tell me a little bit, just kind of about compound interest, so that we can tie it into faith.
So compound interest means you earn interest not only on your original money, but also on the interest that's been added.
Mhm.
So the money grows faster over time because the interest compounds. And so each year the interest gets added to the balance, and the future interest is calculated on a larger amount. So the more frequently the interest compounds and the longer the runway for it, the faster the growth. And the correlation to faith is that faith works in a very similar way. Um, when I exercise the power of faith in one experience, I carry that experience over to the next time I'm faced with something that seems insurmountable. And when I carry that experience over into the next experience, those experiences combined expand my conscious awareness of what's possible based upon my opportunities to have leveraged faith before. And so I carry a different level of conscious understanding and awareness into the next experience, because I know that there is that which is within me that is up to that which I'm facing. And so where at one stage, I may not have thought it was possible to overcome a thing or to accomplish a thing, at another stage, based upon the compound effect of faith, I know that with God all things are possible, kind of thing on the outside end of it. So that's really the idea behind the compound effect of faith.
Yeah, it's those I love to see principle at play, right? And whether we're talking about money, whether we're talking about our spirituality, that the principles apply. The you talked about faith in its different forms. I'm going to play this clip, and I really appreciate this because sometimes I know that I can get into a perfectionist mindset where it's kind of like all or nothing. And so I like how you talk about the progression of faith and how faith represents itself in your experience in different ways. So I'm gonna share this clip and we'll dive in.
Okay.
Faith is the spiritual capacity by which we may form and shape the ever-present basic element of spiritual substance. In the gospel according to Matthew, he offers that it's done unto us according to our faith. So faith helps determine what happens in our life. Faith is the capacity we use to shape the potential of our lives. And faith is also one of the greatest tools for transformation in our life. But when it comes to faith, all faith is not created equally.
So is faith not created equally? You talked about faith is hope, blind faith, and understanding faith. Tell me a little bit, because for faith is hope. Like you said, that faith is hope does the work of keeping us moving forward when we feel like giving up. I know that I've looked at hope and said that it's like I don't know, kind of putting hope down on the spectrum. But talk a little bit about how faith can work when it is difficult. You said when we feel like giving up, how does hope come in?
So I don't know if I said it in the lesson, but I refer to faith as hope as kind of the training wheels of faith, right? Because it's grounded in our desire for the outcome, right? It's not necessarily grounded in how I hold the vision for the outcome. The hope is not necessarily grounded in how I move in expectation of the fulfillment of the outcome. It's often just a firm desire or a firm intention for a particular outcome. So hope is one of the things that would lead me to perhaps do a vision board, right? Because it gives me a practical step that puts me in the vibration of that which I desire to achieve or accomplish. So it's like the training wheels of faith, and it's an excellent place to start, particularly if you're unfamiliar with faith as a power, or faith as a discipline, or faith as a tool, or faith as an ability, right? For many people, faith is just what we have in God, right? It's many of us don't necessarily see it as something that God has invested each of us with as a means by which to make the most of our divine potential.
Yeah, yeah. I know that when I'm thinking about hoping, at the very minimum, because when you're caught up in your stuff, it is difficult to see things beyond your stuff. And I feel like hope is that one peak of
Mm-hmm.
beyond your stuff, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I think that there's a in the spirit. I know in the spiritual community, it's kind of like to say you hope is not like people will say that you need to have faith. No, you don't need to hope. You need to have faith. And it's like now we are talking the same things. We're talking about levels, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I like that. I like the idea of reminding us, especially metaphysical Christians, that it is sometimes we get so extreme that we miss the progression of our faith. That's why I like the idea that you're talking about investments over time and how
Mm-hmm.
it builds, because that building is a part of the growth process, and that
Yeah.
definitely ministered to me in the sermon, and definitely I get that a sermon twice, y'all. Y'all don't know I get a that's my gift to myself is I get it twice because I get it when y'all get it and I get it when I'm prepping.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this the magical faith, right? Like so jumping from hope to this understanding faith. So tell me about the mindset of understanding faith.
Right. So mindset or understanding faith is then when we really sort of move into the the science of the science part of mind science, right? It's when we start to remember the power of mind in action, and when we intentionally realign our our consciousness with the law, right? So understanding faith as I'm walking through the experience through the understanding faith lens, I have remember to hold to the outcome that I desire in the midst of it not appearing at this point,
Mm-hmm.
right? I remember to, I say, let's say I'm thinking on a new home. Uh, Understanding faith is the kind of thing that gives me ability to start packing stuff up, even though I haven't sold this home yet and haven't found a new home yet,
Mm-hmm.
right? But my conscious projection must bring to me that which I desire. So let me start to move in ways that are consistent with my desired outcome, even though that has not appeared yet. Understanding faith understands the laws of mind in action, right? Consciousness precedes form.
That is so I think it's so important to get the distinction that to say I have faith means I'm doing something. Like I am, you said moving because I've accepted and affirmed the desired result. Like I'm moving now because that's already done in spirit.
Yeah. Well,
And I believe that.
yeah. Somewhere it says faith without works is dead, right? So if I
And
if
the
I
life
if I truly have the foundational awareness that this is coming, it's like um I'm responsible, not me, because nobody really wants me to be responsible for this, but I'm responsible for Thanksgiving dinner. Everybody's coming to my house, right? If I know that I'm responsible for Thanksgiving dinner and everybody's coming to my house, I don't wait until they get there to prepare. I prepare ahead of time because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are coming, right?
what appetite.
So, yes. So I do the shopping ahead of time. I prepare the food ahead of time. I clean the house ahead of time. I do all of those things ahead of time. If I have that certain family member, I put the valuables away ahead of time, right? Because I know for certain that they're coming. I
Uh-huh.
understand that they're showing up. So through that understanding, I prepare the way ahead of
Yeah.
time. Um, And as a result, we're able to have a better experience because even if I cater everything, I have to make sure that I'm prepared for the thing. So I take the necessary action, the necessary courses of action ahead of time because my expectation is that they are going to show up. That is a demonstration of understanding faith, right? Another demonstration of another very practical demonstration of understanding faith is those of us who show up at our respective jobs and do the work for 2 weeks before we get paid, or for a week before we get paid. It's the agreed upon level of understanding that says at the end of this period of time, based upon what you put in, you'll get whatever X is out. But if we didn't have faith that agreement would be fulfilled, many of us would not show up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I love those demonstrations of faith, because sometimes we don't equate that. Like, there's truly faith when I flick the light switch on. Like, I trust that all that electricity, whatever makes my light come on, whatever has to happen from the street to the here, that it's going to work. I believe that that's going to work. And I may not understand how it works, but when it stops working, then I need to, how I have light is going to reflect my understanding. So this is, you talked about, I'm going to take you to two more clips, because I want to have people work with the part that's not working in their life, something that that's not working well. Because sometimes we sit on what we know. I know a lot about what faith is, but am I faithing in certain directions? Am I faithing in different things? So this clip about why we may not be activating our faith, I'm going to play this. This is how I heard it, and then how to shift your mind, how to shift your awareness to go from doubting and sitting still to actively moving in faith. So we're going to take some grand leaps here in these next 20 minutes together. Here we go.
When I don't change, it's because I believe the payoff for staying the same is greater than the payoff of my possibility. Now, faith is attempting to pull me into my possibility.
I know I'm supposed to just run it back so quick, but I got to run that back. You got to hear that one more time.
When I don't change, it's because I believe the payoff for staying the same is greater than the payoff of my possibility. Now, faith is attempting to pull me into my possibility. Because faith is the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So faith is trying to pull me into something that does not presently appear for me. And when I elect to stay the same, I'm saying my faith is better used to keep me right where I am than it is to help me stretch into my divine potential.
I almost clicked the button to end the stream. I swear I did. It's like that statement right there is all right. So let me go with the first part that you opened up on. You opened and closed with some uppercuts. When we don't change, it's because we believe the payoff for staying the same is greater than the payoff of the possibility. So talk to me a little bit more about this, like the payoff of the possibility versus the payoff of staying the same. You're saying we get something out of staying the same.
For sure. Oh, no question. Right? Whether it's confirmation or affirmation of identity, right? Like I see and this is so for all of us. Like if there is an experience that I have that's inconsistent with my identity, either my identity has to evolve to support that experience, or I no longer entertain that experience. Right? Let's say I get into a romantic relationship with someone who's verbally abusive, And I don't see myself as someone who tolerates verbal abuse. All things being equal, right? So I'm not necessarily talking about they provide for my lifestyle or anything like that. Just we just kind of are just coming together, new experience, feeling one another out. Shortly into it, this is revealed. I don't see myself as someone who lets anybody talk to me like that, much less somebody I'm trying to be into or grow into a romantic relationship with. More than likely, I'm going to distance myself from that relationship because the relationship no longer matches my identity. It's no longer consistent with how I see myself, right? Really has nothing to do with the other person's behavior. It has everything to do with how I see myself, the lens through which I perceive what I do accept and what I don't accept. So when it comes to this impetus to change, we all experience that at one time or another. And it's really just the more compelling driver is the one that gets us to either stretch out into the possibility because we can see the promise. Faith helps us see the promise.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have, if my faith can't help me see the promise, then I invest my faith in the safety and sanctity of where I am. And I make where I am all right. Which there's no judgment about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already identified with this space. I'm already identified with this experience. I've already accepted that this is my lot. Faith is trying to get me to see something different. My vision is pulling me into something different. And so the promise of that means that I have to expand my identity of self, my sense of self, into something that is worthy or capable of that. And
go ahead.
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, it's that part, right? That part you go in to talk about, because I'm thinking back to someone in that romantic relationship who hears that first sign of verbal abuse and stays, right? Like, and because maybe there's a repeated pattern, maybe there's a conversation they're having with themselves about what they're worthy of, right? Or some scarcity idea of this, everybody got something going on with them. Nobody's perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
so
not that
you stay
bad.
in that,
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. So this is the part where I think it's one of the most impactful parts of the lesson for me was everybody, this is the thing, everybody get their nuggets. This one hit me really hard, is what you must do to your mind when you see that you are hesitant to change, right? That I am you wonderfully said that I got the payoff to stay the same. Eventually it's like it's not paying off anymore, right? So what do I do? And this is I'm gonna play this clip and we can talk more about, it is a practical Christianity. Like, how do I shift from staying in this situation in this state of not enoughness to something more?
I activate my faith when I start treating my appearances as temporary.
That's good.
And
That's
stop
good.
treating them as final realities. I mean it by how we mean it in metaphysical Christianity. When we treat something, a treatment is a prayer of faith. A treatment is a prayer of understanding. A treatment is a prayer for healing, harmony, wisdom, prosperity, and any other good that I may desire. And the object of treatment is to raise my consciousness to a high spiritual consciousness through which that healing can be accomplished. Now, here is why the word treatment is so important. Because you are so powerful that you can use the faculties and attributes that you've given in any way that you determine.
So that could have been I could have doubled that clip. It was so much right there, and the power of what treatment is, of
Mm-hmm.
what treatment is, and the power of treatment and your transformation. Talk to us a little bit about that. What does it mean to treat the mind? Like how you said through our affirmation. Like how do you treat your mind?
Mm-hmm. So treatment isn't really just one thing. When we're treating the mind, we're also treating the environment of our consciousness, right? So it's not just the isolated moment of praying, praying for faith, praying and understanding of healing and harmony and wisdom and prosperity. When I read whatever I read, I am to some extent treating my mind. When I
Mm,
listen to whatever I listen to, I am to some extent treating my mind. When I look at whatever I look at, I am to some extent treating my mind. When I talk about whatever I talk about, I am to some extent treating my mind. So I'm not only treating my mind when I enter into meditation. I'm not only treating my mind when I enter into prayer. I'm also treating my mind when I listen to trap music, right? I'm treating my mind when I gossip about other people's business. I'm treating my mind when I'm looking at the news, and I'm obviously subject to the same gas prices, but I'm treating my mind when I'm giving my attention over to how difficult things are, or how this is the most divided we've ever been. All of those things have the potential to influence my mental environment.
mm-hmm,
So, in the purest sense, I'm treating my mind when I am, or ideally, I shouldn't say in the truest sense. Ideally, I treat my mind um, through only allowing in those high level, high vibration, high energy supplements that reinforce, one, my identity, not the identity I've accepted, but my spiritual identity. Two, I'm treating my mind to help me facilitate those things that give me the ability to expand my spiritual consciousness, and
mm-hmm,
then therefore demonstrate from that spiritual awareness. So again, somewhere in the scripture says, guard your heart with all diligence or vigilance, because
mm-hmm,
from the heart flow the issues of life. As the heart is identified as the subconscious mind is accepting what is being impressed from the conscious mind, or from the race consciousness,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right?
That's too
So
much. It's too
so
much, Rev. It's too much.
I'm constantly treating my mind, sometimes in the ideal ways, sometimes in the not so ideal ways. And so when I treat my mind in the not so ideal ways, it then results in me treating my experiences as though they are permanent, when all I have to do is look back over my experiences and I know that they are temporary. I know that this too came to pass. So
Yeah.
I have to,
Yeah.
if I treat ideally, if I treat my mind ideally, then from the treating of my mind in that ideal state, it will influence how I treat. And by treat this time, I mean handle the
Mm-hmm,
external things that show up in my life, world, and affairs. So then
mm-hmm,
if I once I'm handling them from the higher place, just no different than the handle I use to pick up a cup. It's not handling me. I get to handle it. And so I can stop now treating it like it's a final reality when it's only a temporary appearance.
Yeah, I love the idea of treatment as another way of talking about prayer. Like you can kind of, what is a prayer? What is your prayer to do? Is to treat your mind, right? To treat your mind. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so much I want to talk more about treatment another tab, because it's just so powerful. And I was so grateful that you brought it up in that way about how we think about it. And for those, the questions that started popping up in my mind as you were talking was like, how am I treating my mind? What am you talked about feeding what you feed. You gave a great metaphor. You guys should listen back on this sermon. It's from June 7th of 2026. And you give a powerful metaphor about basically what wins is what you feed, right? And so if you're feeding doubt, you're going to have more of that. That's going to be what's dominant. If you're feeding your faith, that's what's going to be dominant. But I'm gonna wrap us out on this statement. You said that you quoted a Neville Goddard quote that said, "Our faith in God is measured by our confidence in ourselves." I'm gonna play this and then we're gonna talk for just a couple minutes before we wrap up.
Okay.
That's so good. So good. Okay, I'm skipping that clip. Which clip was that? Here we go. I hope this is the right one because we moving.
If I have confidence in myself as an extension of my faith in God, it really doesn't matter how many times you tell me no. It doesn't matter how many times you tell me I won't be able to do that. It doesn't matter how many times you tell me I'm not what you're looking for. It doesn't matter how many times you tell me your credit score just doesn't measure up at the time. Because the truth is of the matter is, I am more than all of those descriptions. None of them capture the true essence of that which I have confidence in.
So our faith in God is measured by our confidence in ourselves. And then you said there is no faith in God if you don't have confidence in yourself. Okay. Okay, that is the pass. That's the pass to play. I mean, literally, like I've been chewing on that a lot because then I think like, okay, I got to think about this because this is the science of the spiritual science of success. So that means that I got to think this thing through because I can get to an exact result. And if I am not experiencing my desire, right? That's what we say, X plus Y equals Z. If I'm not experiencing that, then what other part of the equation is off? My confidence in myself, because God can only move through who I say I am. And then we go back to treatment, which is I might need to treat my mind so that I can remember. Well, I see what you did there, Ram.
So I read, and I don't know if I don't think I intentionally do this like this. I don't think I do, but I must. I don't know. But in what I find is that in every lesson there's a through line. I connect the dots. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just how I am in my personal life. So that's how it also manifests in my teaching and preaching. But yes, the dots connect. It's got to make sense to me as I'm putting it together. You know what I'm saying? So the lessons as they come to me are developed scientifically. And once the scientific blueprint is in place, then we can play with it like an artist. Right? But yes, we are one with God. Each of us is made in the image after the likeness of God. There is no beingness that I have that's separate and apart from God. So when I have confidence in me, I'm demonstrating confidence in God, because there is only the one. There is it's not two. It's not God and me, God's creation. It's just God. And to the extent that my mental environment or my consciousness supports that divine potential, the more I come to accept that that is what it is, the more consistently I give myself permission to live from that consciousness.
Mhm. Mhm. There's a important thing that I think, and just in terms of like moving forward with this, because this lesson does continue, this series continues, this for this next sermon, right, Rev? You got some
Yeah.
more for the science
Yes.
of success.
Yes.
And so I want to encourage you all to tap in. This series started the top of May 2026. Work through these lessons, because in reality, in truth, you are designed to bring some good, some greatness into
Amen.
expression.
Amen.
And it's not, Rev talked about it not being about luck, and it's like so many things that we need to know to understand, to treat our mind about what success really is, about what we're capable of, so that that statement that you just said, that that God is a part of our being that can't be separated, can be felt, not just said, can be known, not just stated, like that is what we come from, continuously treating our mind. So I know I'm walking away with, what have I been treating my mind with? This just treat my mind for the good that I have said yes to. I don't listen to trap music, but I am entertaining some things.
I don't any longer, but the fact that I know what it is says something, right? The fact that I know some of the artists says something. Like it's not in my playlist, to be clear.
I mean, and it's not that things should never be in your playlist. It's like,
I have stuff that's trap adjacent.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's more my era.
Yeah, but I'll tell myself this. I'll say, you don't need to be listening to that right now. Like, sometimes when your cup ain't all the way full, things ain't all the way straight. It's like, you need to be treating your mind. It's just like if you're not feeling good, go lay down somewhere. Like, you gotta know. So you gotta know your timing. Like, okay, this is not the time for the news. This ain't the time to listen to the news. You're not in the mindset for it. You're not there. Yeah, you're not there. So no slight to trap music. No slight to the news even.
Right.
No slight to the news. I know we give the news a bad rap sometimes. No slight to it. But you got to know when you need to eat that. You got to know if you have enough going on to be able to see it rightly. So again, a whole other podcast we could do for that one. But I want to thank you so much, Rev. Thank you for making the time. I know that you have a busy schedule. We are all managing so many facets of our lives and trying to show up. You talking about being healthy, taking vacations. All of that is not like those things stop, and there's not more to do. So I appreciate you making this a priority and coming on. Thank you all for tuning in and listening, making this a priority, treating your mind with something good today.
Yeah.
Joshua appreciate you.
Pat Joshua had a question, or looks like Joshua had a question.
Oh man, I've not been paying attention to the chat. My bad. How can I join Zoom? Okay, how can I join online via Zoom? This isn't on Zoom, but you're probably talking about a workshop that's getting ready to happen. And so we're going to pop off and you'll be able to see that workshop. Thank you all, Cheryl and Diane, for chatting along. Pamela, for sure, always for chatting along. We appreciate the chat. I apologize. I usually have my eye right on the chat. I would have been able to pull you guys in. But I'm going to wrap us out, and I'm grateful for you all for tapping in. For those who are listening to the recording, thank you for listening. Let me know if you're getting something out of this. This collective online is a place where we can dialogue in our Facebook group. Just look it up, the CUT Collective, and join in with us. I'm going to just give thanks and praise for
Amen.
it all, knowing that you heard what you needed to hear and you're able to move on what you heard, because faith without action is dead. And so we're just going to be active in our faith today. We're going
That's
to work it out
amen.
and bless you
Thank
in
you,
that.
Sheree.
Bless you in that.
Thank
Thank
you, Rhea.
you. Thank you. Thank you. It is my pleasure and my honor to be here. Wrap us up. God bless you all. Have a beautiful, love-filled, and joyful day.
Peace and blessing.